In order to create your bibliography, you need to keep track of each source that you use in your project. I've created this nifty form that you're looking at to collect all of the information that you need for your bibliography. The first thing you need to do before you fill in anything on this piece of paper is to write your name on it, because after putting all the effort into collecting this information, you don't want to lose it. The first step is to select the type of source that you used. So it could be a book, it could be an encyclopedia, a magazine or periodical article, a website article, or a database article, which could have come from a magazine, a newspaper, a reference book. And you might even use a different type of resource, like an interview. If you don't see the resource listed on this form, make sure you come down to the library and I can help you figure out what information you need to cite that source. When you're collecting information, you want to try and find as much of the information listed here as you can. Sometimes, though, you're not going to be able to find a certain item. For example, it's often difficult to find an author for a website article or a database article. Sometimes the author just isn't listed. And if you've looked in all the places that an author might be listed and you can't find one, then just go ahead and leave that blank. Let's take a look at how we would collect information for the database article that you see right here. This is a database article that I found on InfoTrack, and let me just move it up so that you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so we are going to first find, we're going to select database article because this is a database article. I'll just check that off. And then we're going to look for an author, and I don't see an author for this article. Normally, if there was an author, it would be written at the top or the bottom of the article, and I don't see one. So I'm just going to leave author blank, okay? And that's okay to do. Next thing I'm looking for is the title of the resource that this article was published in, okay? So the title of this resource is Current Events. So I will write that in, Current Events. Sorry, I'm writing with my fingertip. All right, the article title here is The Lost Boys of Sudan. So I'm going to write that in. All right, next thing I'm looking for is the place of publication. But I see that I only need a place of publication if I'm citing a book or an encyclopedia. So you can go ahead and skip that one. Move this down a bit. Okay, who is the publisher or sponsor of this article? Okay, and I can see that it is, Weekly Reader Corporation that published Current Events where this article appeared. So I'm going to write that in, Weekly Reader. All right. Let's look for the publication or issue date. Well, I see it right here, September 24th, 2007. So I'm going to abbreviate that, 9/24/07. And I actually do see an issue and volume for this article. You don't often find that. Sometimes for encyclopedia articles, they have them, or for magazines and newspapers. So I'm going to write that in. It's actually volume 107. So I'll write 107 over here, and it's issue 3. You see that right here? Okay. Next, database name. So, of course, if I got this article from a book or an encyclopedia or a website, I wouldn't write a database name. But since I did get this from InfoTrack, I'm going to write InfoTrack because that's the name of this database. And the database publisher is good to have. It's not essential. You can usually find it at the bottom of the page, and this database publisher I know is Gale. So try and find that. If you can't, don't worry about it. The date access, the last item on the list, is the date that you got the information off the website or the database. You don't need to put a date accessed if you used a book or an encyclopedia, just for a website or a database. So this is a database, so the date that I got it, let's say it was today. So 1/22/13. Okay? And that's all you need for a database. It does take practice to learn how to collect all of this information properly. So in 6th grade, 5th grade, 4th grade, what we're really doing is learning how to do this. So do your best to collect as much of this information as you can. Be sure, if you're citing a website, that you know who published or sponsored that website. That's essential knowledge if you're going to use a website, because you shouldn't be using a website if you don't know where it came from. You should look for dates. You should know dates. And all of this is information that you would collect anyway when you are evaluating the resource that they're using. So collect as much as you can. You're going to use everything that you've collected on this sheet to create your actual bibliography using EasyBib. And that's another lesson on this page. So I'll see you there after you've collected all your resource information. Good luck.